AG, what up? What up?
What's good, Coop? What's good?
What's going on? Welcome everybody. Welcome to Hip Hop Talks, special Tuesday edition. Feels like we've been pulling up on y'all every couple of days. We know it's a holiday week. A lot of people are celebrating the colonization uh, of the holiday hell day, as Nas would quote it on What Goes Around. Off Stillmatic. How are you, AG?
Doing good, man. Tired trying to sew up some last minute stuff. Holiday grind. You know how it is around this time of year.
Got family coming in?
Nah. Everybody's local. You know what I'm saying? But going to do a little house hopping, a few
So,
places.
what, so all 12 of y'all are like going?
Hey, man, keep my circle small. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sean's under investigation right now, so we don't know when that interrogation process will be over. He keeps on violating certain rules and parameters. Sean's a habitual line stepper. But welcome to Hip Hop Talks. Click like and subscribe to the page. We have a lot to talk about for it to be a Tuesday, AG, especially after just pulling up on a Sunday. We got hit with a lot of stuff yesterday. I mean, we almost like thought about doing a pull up yesterday. We're going to get into all that, but I wanted to kind of catch your vibe. What's your favorite Happy Holiday Hell Day food? Like
Oh man, I'm a deviled eggs guy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so potato
Yeah,
salad is my thing. So it's like, so I'm with you.
yeah, we're cousins.
Yeah, yeah. So we're together on that.
No
Yeah.
doubt. Matter of fact, I don't know if you remember when we did the pull up in North Carolina, we went to that barbecue spot
No,
that
I remember.
Andrew recommended. Yeah, they had the deviled egg sandwich. I was
And
like,
you got
yo,
the egg sandwich. Yeah.
yes, sir.
Okay. So love the deviled eggs. Turkey or ham guy?
Ham.
Ham over turkey.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it depends on what kind of ham, and I think it depends on what part of the turkey.
If the turkey is deep fried, I'm a deep fried turkey guy.
Oh yeah. If it's
Yeah,
injected,
that's the way to go.
it's got to be injected with the garlic and the butter for me to
Oh
deep
yeah,
fry.
for sure.
Other than that, you're not really deep frying it. I went like a 16-year stretch where I never ate pork at all, and I found that the main thing that I missed when I actually did eat pork again was like a honey baked ham.
Mm.
And so, even though there are certain parts of the turkey that I think I would prefer, I think overall, if I'm actually eating, the pig. And by the way, people should look up pigs are actually cleaner than chickens now in terms of how they're being raised on farms and stuff. But that's a whole other conversation for another
What
day.
what did Ghostface say? Fast from the hog, y'all, and grow up.
We're gonna talk about Supreme. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about Supreme.
Yeah,
Yeah, can't wait to do that.
yes,
Is
sir.
Sean gonna participate in this show, or is he just gonna creep in the shadow?
He's handling some backstage stuff right now. We can jump right into it, man.
Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our classic albums from this era. See, now here's what we're already finding out when we're doing this in November. AG, there's so many more albums from big name artists that are being dropped around this time of year, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%. Fourth quarter is where it's at.
Yeah. So let's start with November 22nd, 1994, Red Man's There in the Dark Side. Any quick ideas or reflections on the album, AG?
It's just a classic album, man. Like, second
Mm,
joint out the gate. It's a classic.
I
I
don't think
mean,
it's a classic. I think it's really dope. I don't think it's a classic.
people will argue that this might be is people out there that will argue this one over Muddy Waters. I'm a Muddy Waters guy, but it's people out there that will argue this one over Muddy Waters.
Okay. I mean, those people can argue a lot of things. I don't think no. This doesn't. This this has the lyrical complexity that Muddy Waters has, and it might even be more lyrically complex or dense in a sense in terms of its approach. But it doesn't have the reach or the appeal or the vibe or the consistency of Muddy Waters, and the songs just song to song are not as great.
No.
Like this is an album. Like, how about this? For me, this is an album of really good songs from a really great artist.
Mm.
Muddy Waters is a collection of classic and really great songs from somebody like Muddy Waters is when he went to all time great to me. And so There Is a Dark Side is the momentum leading up to that and part of it, but I don't think it's a classic. I think it's just a really dope rap album.
Do you like it better than What the Album?
Lyrically.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if song for song it's better than What the Album either.
Because out of Redman's first three, I think he has two and a possible. And for me, the possible is What the Album. I consider There's the Dark Side and Muddy Waters the classics.
Okay. I think Muddy Waters is just his like solo like.
You think that's his definitive classics, and the other ones are, below that tier.
I think some of that too is subjective to error. If you ask people 4 to 7 years older than us, they'll swear by What the Album and tell you it's a classic. You know what I'm saying? And are big fans of There Is a Dark Side as well. Yeah. But for me, Muddy Waters is just like the one that just clears where it's like that shit right there. Yeah.
Everything lined up on that album.
Yeah, that's his moment. That's his moment. The Muddy Waters moment is very, very comparable to the Supreme Clientele moment. I think just Supreme happened in a. Now I don't want to call it a down year. It just wasn't 96. You know what I'm saying? Muddy Waters still happened in 96, which I think dimmed some of its light, but it's held up remarkably well. Which
still I think, top 10 on the year for me.
But top 7-ish. Like closer to 5 than 10. How about that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We got Kanye's "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy." Came out the same day, except for it came out in 2010. I actually remember where I was and what I was doing the first time I heard this album. I was living in Smyrna, and I worked in Midtown, and you can back road in Smyrna to Midtown. And this is what I played in the morning when I was on the way to work. And I can remember hearing Nicki come on at the beginning, and then the "Can we get much higher?" And I was like, you knew it was one of those things, like classic albums have a feeling to them. Like the all-time great albums have a feeling to them, and you feel it when it starts happening almost immediately. It gives you chills. And it happens in different ways. It happens in a variety of ways. I'll give you a way that's like that would be the antithesis of this, but like the equivalent of a classic. When you listen to Aquemini, "Hold On, Be Strong" comes on, and then you hear that beat drop on "Return of the Gangster," you're like, oh, like you know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy" is one of those types of classics. Like from the moment that it starts off, it kind of gives you chills, and you're like, oh my God, and it just gets better. I mean, I think "Gorgeous" might be his most underrated song.
That's my favorite song on the album, man.
Gorgeous is gorgeous.
Love it.
Gorgeous. Yeah,
Gorgeous.
Cuddy and Ray beat is perfect. And what's a black beetle anyway? A fucking roach. That's why they got me sitting in fucking coach. But God said I had a different approach because people is looking at me like I'm sniffing coke. It's not funny anymore. It's how different jokes. Tell them hug and kiss my ass. X and O.
Yeah. Yo, that joke was fire. And just the simple fact that, Kanye, you could always count on him to bring together the collaborations that we would never get otherwise. Like having Cuddy and Raekwon on the same track's just crazy. You know what I mean?
Objectively, if you were to tell me that it was his best album, I really couldn't argue with you. Just if you look at the classic nature of the songs, like the intro is a classic, "Gorgeous" is a classic, "Power" is a classic, "All of the Lights" is a classic,
the Posse Cuts,
"Monster" is a classic,
So Appalled.
So Appalled is a classic, "Devil in a Blue Dress" is a classic, Blame Game is a classic. Like that's That's the majority. I mean, what am I missing? Oh, Runaway. Runaway is a classic. Like
Yeah,
it's just
it just tails off in the last couple tracks, in my opinion. But
yeah. Last couple of tracks a little bit. I think all of his projects are probably a little too lengthy. There's always a song or two that you find somewhere in the process of the album that maybe you could cut. At this album, it happened at the end. But if you're talking about, how about this? If you're talking just song for song, this is his strongest album, song for song wise.
yeah,
Like this
yeah, I'm
song,
with you.
the songs on here clear the other great songs on the other great albums of his, and that's why it may not have. And even though it has the classic feel, it may not have the that pure hip hop classic feel that the College Dropout has, and it may not have the pleasing arena sounds of Graduation or even parts of Late Registration, but it has a piece of Kanye's soul. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of like his Tupac kind of album. This is kind of like his All Eyes on Me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it's objectively his best. It's not my favorite. My favorite would be Late Registration, but
Yeah.
objectively, this is his best.
Yeah, Late Registration is my favorite too, but it's in the conversation. Like, for me, the albums that have his greatest songs are The College Dropout, Late Registration, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And I think because of, and some of it is just timing, and some of it is just notoriety at the time because of who he became. There's something about the songs on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy that sound bigger. It's like, you know, like All of the Lights is bigger. You know what I'm saying? So appalled posse cut wise is like really like fucking up like that earlier stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like he didn't have a record like that before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Good Fridays leading up to it is one of my favorite hip hop moments ever.
Yeah, he's got We Major with Nas. He's got Diamonds from Sierra Leone with Jay. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like he has a lot of stuff, man. I mean, there's a reason people feel the way that they feel about him, but this is up. I would
This is his zenith album. This is the album that I've always felt was like Kanye has reached that zenith as an artist. Because like with Jay, Jay Blueprint to me was his zenith. He got to that point where everything leading up to Blueprint was bass hits, apart from Reasonable Doubt. I felt like Kanye with this one was very similar to that. College Dropout, home run hit, Late Registration, bass hit, Graduation, bass hit, 808s, bass hit. And then you had My Dark Twisted Fantasy, brought everything in home. It was, to me, that's when he figured out how to put together an entire effort from the beginning to the end that was flawless. And that's how I felt Dark Twisted Fantasy was.
Okay, I will push back with you and say that I don't think that this was his first time putting together an album from end to end flawlessly.
What was before this?
I mean, I think this is arguably his fourth time doing it. To some people, think it's his fifth time doing it. Like, there are people out there that think that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his fifth classic. I just think that it's his maybe third or fourth, depending on. Like, sometimes I listen to Graduation and I'm like, damn, like, there's really not a bad song on here. I think the problem with Graduation to me is I don't think it's as good as The College Dropout and Late Registration, and that makes it really, really hard for me to rate it fairly. But there's a whole generation out there that literally is spawned from the guy that's on Graduation and 808s. Late Registration and College Dropout are easy picks. So he's walking in with 2, 3, 4, depending on who you ask, walking into My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for most.
But Graduation was more of a moment. Graduation was because of the success of Late Registration, the success of College Dropout.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of help on College Dropout. He had a collection behind him. He had a lot of help.
It was more of a compilation, a producer compilation album on that one.
Absolutely. It wasn't a heavy lift for him. I felt like Dark Twisted Fantasy was his lift. He orchestrated that entire thing.
Hold on 1 second. I don't want to deflect too far. Do you two feel like Kanye West's first album, The College Dropout, is really more of a compilation album than a Kanye West album in terms of, like, do you don't feel like that Kanye like grabs a hold of you and like takes the forefront of the album?
It's very personal, but all the features that lend to it, like Sean said, is not as heavy as as a lift. And then by the time you get to Graduation, he's, obviously a better MC. When he's rhyming along the features on College Dropout, I don't want to say he seems out of place on his old album, but the features are a lot of times the highlight. You know what I'm saying? But by the time you get around to Late Registration and in Graduation, he's going bar for bar with these, top tier features, and a lot of times out rapping them.
I'm gonna push back because the two best records on there might be Falls Down and Jesus Walks, which are solo shots. What would be your response to that?
On College Dropout?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that those are not the best records, but when somebody is standing next to him, like he's not out rapping Jay. He's not out rapping. Yeah, he's not out rapping Most and Freeway. He's not out rapping Common and Quality. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Hold on, but he's not there yet. We're not expecting, like, he's not there yet as a rapper.
Yeah, but Graduation he is. Late Registration, he's on his way.
Hold on.
Can y'all see that?
No.
That's the album cover. That's the CD cover that he had of everyone that was part of the album.
Hold on, wait 1 second. We don't knock Pete Rock for that. We don't knock Large Professor for that. We don't knock Dr. Dre for that. We don't knock RZA for that, even though it's Wu-Tang Clan, and that's totally unfair. So we can't knock Kanye for not sounding better than those guys on his debut album, because here's the reality of the matter. From that moment on, he sounded better than pretty much most of those guys for most of the time after that album.
Yeah, it's still a classic, but
no, it's just that he was in his infancy as an artist, right? So he had other people around him. That's why in that pamphlet I just showed you, he had all of those folks there for a reason. He needed that village around him to curate that album. He said it himself.
I mean, for me, I have Late Registration first, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy second, College Dropout third, Graduation fourth. That's my order. So I'm okay with what you all are saying. I'm just pushing back from a hip hop perspective.
All right, let me tell you like this. I got the same.
There are a lot of people. Hold on, real quick, AG. You know, most people walk around and they swear by the College Dropout and they think that it's his best album. And that's the number one.
100%.
It's a good album. That's why.
But here's the thing though. I got your same ranking, Coop, exactly the same order. But I think if I'm comparing it, the year that the Spurs beat the Heat in the finals and Kawhi got that, finals MVP. I look at Kanye on College Dropout like that. I mean, you're surrounded by Duncan, Ginobili, Parker and that, but you still an MVP yourself. But then you get to Graduation, and that's Kawhi when he played for the Raptors. Two totally different players, he's a different MC by the time. He's carrying the whole album on his back and don't have that help that he had, some years prior. So that's how I look at it. Okay. He's still an MVP type player, but just had a lot of help.
MVP. Yeah, different type of MVP.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I like the analogy. We can move on to the next album. The W by the Wu, November 21st, 2000. What do you all think about the W? I think the W is drastically underrated, guys. I want to really hear your thoughts about this.
I'm glad you said that because I feel the same.
Definitely underrated.
Are we Wu-Tang biased?
No, I think that's an objective take. The thing that this album is missing glaringly is Old Dirty's presence. Yep. Even on the conditioner. It's got conditioner, but it's not the Dirty we know and love. You can tell, like, it's recorded, from jail, and he sounds depressed. He's not, he's not the Dirty we know and love. And that's missing from this album. But other than that, it has a lot of solid tracks on this record. Like, Let My Niggas Live, Careful, Click, Click, Hollow Bones, like, Can't Go to Sleep. Like, I mean, it's fire all over this album.
Hold on, AG. There's a lot of dope stuff on the album. We know there's a lot of dope stuff. But here would be my question to you and Sean. And Sean, I mean, you can kind of kick this off when I ask this. What on this album even if it's just group stuff, they would still probably need a double disc of greatest hits. But what on this album would go on their greatest hits? Because I think that might be the biggest flaw with this album. Because I think the stuff might be really good to great, but nothing great enough to really nothing great enough to make you feel the way that Supreme Clientele makes you feel. Like you want to know what I was thinking about today? Like I know I don't want to give it away, so we'll wait. Go ahead.
I think what hurt the W, if anything hurt, I didn't like the lead single. I didn't like Gravel Pit. I didn't like Gravel
I thought
Pit.
the Jump Off was the lead single.
I thought it was Gravel Pit. Wasn't it Gravel Pit? Because
It
Gravel Pit
was,
Either way, those are two of the weaker songs.
yeah, they dropped around the same time. It was back to back.
It was back to back, and they put all the money in the Gravel Pit. You know, the video and everything. Back.
I tried to make myself like that song.
Me too.
You want to know what? No, hold on. I will say I'm not in love with the record, but I understood what they were trying to do. Meth's verse on there is fire. Holocaust from the land of the lost. Behold the pale horse.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help the song. It doesn't help the song. Even the video doesn't help anything.
The video was the worst part of it.
You didn't like the Flintstones? You didn't like
no, not at all. Not at all. They were doing too much. And again, you got to think about it. Wu-Tang had just, you're talking about 3 years removed from Wu-Tang Forever, right? You hit the pinnacle. Then you had a miss, the Mobilarity, which to this day I wish they would have went with Blood on Chef's Apron as the follow-up to Cuban Link, because Blood on Chef's Apron was supposed to be another follow-up with Ghost and Ray's second album, but that's neither here nor there. They didn't do that. They went to Mobilarity. They went to Bobby Digital. They went to Cal 2.0. They missed a lot. And then, Ghost came back with Supreme Clientele and Redeem, and then you had the W. There was a lot of missteps leading into the W.
And you want to know it? And it's not like those albums that that you just named or stated, Sean. It's not like those are poor albums. They're just not up to Wu-Tang standard of albums.
Right.
And it's like those albums have flashes of the team that we were used to getting albums of material like that. And that's why I tell people, it's like, well, when I go back and look at it, all those albums you named, Sean, Tikal's better than all those projects you just named. And that's why it's like, oh no, Tikal's a dope project. Because when you look at what they kind of like made when they were like going on their second round, second set of rounds, it's like, oh no, you can even appreciate Cal differently and elevate that and be like, oh no, that's a solid 4.
It was tough because you had Golden Arms, Redemption came out in that span of time. You had the Deck, Uncontrollable Substance came out in that span of time. And
I didn't like the Deck. I'm not going front. I didn't like the Deck.
Exactly. It was all underwhelming at that time.
I liked it, but it wasn't what we wanted it to be. But we're kind of not stating the obvious. Once they got money at the pinnacle, Sean, you talked about the pinnacle, the blueprint, and Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The Wu-Tang's Clan's pinnacle is forever. Once they got money and dispersed and went their own separate directions, and then when you try to come back and form like Voltron, like they said on 36 Chambers, it don't hit the same because the chemistry is lacking, and that's evident on the W. You could tell that the chemistry is not there because before they had spent all their time with one another, building the brand. Then once you branch out and try to come back to it, it's not going to feel the same.
Yo, cool. We got 5 super chats.
Duel of the Iron Mike. Duel of the Iron Mike is really what called all of this, fellas. You know what I'm saying? The end of Duel of the Iron Mike. Do you remember like the Kung Fu stuff, the sample?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that pretty much detailed everything that, like, you know what I'm saying, that really happened with the crew from then. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Okay, we got super chat. CJ the Kid, $5. For the albums you guys talked about, There Is a Dark Side got 4 mics. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy got 5 mics. And the W got 3.5 mics from the source. Do you agree? Thoughts? I personally like the 4 for the There Is a Dark Side. I like the 5 for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I would give the W a 4.
It's a 4.
It's a 4. It's not a strong 4, but it's a 4. Michael Williams with the $5 super chat. Apology aside, do you think Might Delete Later is better than GNX? Ooh, no. Bar work is better. The bar work is better. The songs aren't better, and that's
where it stops.
that's typically where Kendrick like beats like his generation is the songs are better, and thereby because the songs are better, the albums tend to be better. So
It's a better feeling to the album.
it's not surprising. Sean, I don't have the other super chats loaded up. I jumped in late.
All right, got one for CJ the Kid. Coop, real question before today's topic. I need to know: do you have both the Pretty Tony album and GNX, The Pillage? Come on, CJ. What is? Don't disregard that, Coop. CJ.
Yes, the Pretty Tony and the GNX album are greater than the Pillage, CJ the Kid. But a lot of things are greater than the Pillage. You just can't tell these two guys that anything is greater than the Pillage. They think, in terms of all-time great albums, it's like it goes, Illmatic, Purple Tape, It Takes a Nation of Millions, Into the Wu-Tang, The Pillage.
Oh my goodness. CJ with another one. CJ the Kid.
Full Doggy Style, The Chronic, after The Pillage,
CJ and Coop High. Also, hope you guys are doing well, of course. Bless you guys and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, CJ.
Happy holiday hell day to you too, CJ.
And we have another one, CJ. The general consistency is the Redman's first 3 albums are classic. Don't do that to the legend of my city.
Whoa. CJ. CJ, no flex.
Yeah.
No flex. I'm just telling you, Muddy Waters is the definite. It's the one that you just can't do.
Yeah. It's this Teflon.
And I also said that people from our younger generation, not younger, generation older than me, and these two gentlemen who don't look as good as me, even though we're all the same age. It's crazy how that happened.
Coop on shrooms. Coop doing shrooms tonight. I was going to say anything, but it needs to be addressed. Coop doing shrooms before the show. AG don't want to say anything, and AG is a doctor, and he knows Coop is on shrooms tonight. Coop don't know where he's at right now. Tomorrow, Coop want to ask us, hey, did we do a show last night? Yes, Coop, we did do a show last night.
Okay. I will not be tested by human resources because they haven't gotten back to me about my complaints about the both of you.
Coop on shrooms.
Coop out here acting like Drake. He reporting us to HR.
Told you I was reporting you. I'll let you know already.
Coop got a petition on this.
Unlike his ass, when I snitch, I let you know I'm going to snitch beforehand. Therefore, it's not snitching. Let you know I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Yeah.
You should see the problem with all this, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Nigga, all you got to do is make a phone call, be like, hey, nigga, guess what? I'm not like you. Well, they not like neither one of us because I'm suing them niggas. I talk to you. Click. But he didn't do that. We'll get to that in a minute. But no, a lot of people consider What the Album a classic. A lot of people consider Muddy Waters. Most people consider Muddy Waters a classic. I would tell you it's too impossible, though. I just don't think. I mean, think about this. When you think of classic rap albums from 1990 to 1995, do not tell me that There Is a Dark Side is one of the albums that you think of. That would be my pushback about that. Its classic nature.
I would disagree and say it is one of the albums that I think about, but like we said on the other show, all classics or 5 mics are not created equal, so it would be towards the bottom of that list. But I still personally would have it on that list.
Think about just for 94, like where think about this, AG. Where do you have There's a Dark Side in 94? Because I don't even know if it's top 5 in 94.
What's 94? You got Ready to
Illmatic,
Die.
Ready to Die, Southern Playalistic. I think Funkdafied by the Brat is better.
No.
I do.
Funkdafied by the Brat. Nah.
It still gets top 5 status. It's better than Takao easily.
Not easy.
I think those albums are very similar. I think they're both very dark. I think they're very dark, very dense.
Don't get cute with that, AG.
It's better than Takao.
Easily.
Takao is a 4 mic album.
So is There Is a Dark Side.
There's a dark side.
Well, this is where we move on because we'll be here all day. Because
let's just move on. Let's go to an album that we all know unequivocally is a classic. Snoop Dogg with Doggy Style on November 23rd, 1993. First rap album to go #1 on the charts. Went platinum 5 times over, following up the quadruple platinum success, I believe, of The Chronic. I still believe this is one of the 5 best rap albums ever made. I actually believe I have it cemented I believe I have it fourth or fifth, somewhere between Paid in Full and yeah, Paid in Full, The Purple Tape, and Doggy Style round out like my top five. It Takes a Nation of Millions, Illmatic. That would be my five. Doggy Style would probably be my 4 or 5. Between that or Paid in Full, I think a lot of times I think that it might be better than Paid in Full because I think it has lasted more generations in terms of the people who know it and what it represents more than Paid in Full has. Although I find the albums to be very comparable in terms of their importance. So what say you all about Doggy Style?
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. Sonically, musically, however you want to put it, classic. This is when Snoop was the king of rap, straight up and down. You know what I mean? What Big say trying to sell records like Snoop, oops. you want to be melodic. You know, he was flowing. You know, for me, the musicality around Doggy Style was the most important part of the West Coast at that time because the West Coast was on top. And you had the Chronic, then you had Doggy Style followed the following year. They just controlled the market for like 3 years in a row, maybe 4. Because shortly after that, they also had the Doggy Style had Murder Was the Case soundtrack. Remember that? And Snoop was still
Murder Was the Case soundtrack.
It was crazy.
Death Row. I mean, people understand, man. Death Row
had it on a lot.
They had it on.
Yeah.
I mean, West got
Above the Rim is a Death Row soundtrack.
Yeah. Above the Rim, all of that around that same time, AG. And the West Coast had locked, man. And Snoop was at the forefront. Snoop was the West Coast at that time. This predated Pop. This predated Pop going over to Death Row. Snoop was the West Coast, and Doggy Style was that one.
If you actually look at the West Coast, I'd say from the point that NWA dropped Straight Outta Compton to the point that Tupac dropped All Eyes on Me, if you wanted to say that was the greatest run a region had, I think they could lay claim to that. I think that's accurate. I think that's like fair. That's not like a stretch if you think about like all the stuff. Because think about the DJ Quicks who made Born and Raised in Compton and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like other classic stuff like that. And then you got your Chronics and your Doggy Styles and your
stuff you don't even think about, like DOC's out.
America's Most, DOC, even though DOC from Texas. You know, Above the Law album, which Dr. Dre executive produced their first album. You got Short, you got 40. You know what I'm saying? They got claim to a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? This album is the album in the moment of all those albums and all those moments. You know what I'm saying? So it's like really one of rap's most special moments. And I tell people, Snoop is rap's first superstar, in my opinion. And this is the album in the moment that birthed it. So
what I'll say real quick about this album, though, is now that we just talked about it, this just came to me. I think it's, you know, because of what you said about Redman, Coop. If Redman has one definitive classic and Muddy Waters and the other ones are conversational, I think Doggy Style might be the most heavily weighted classic album of all time, because everything that Snoop became and is predicated on that classic and his work on the Chronic.
Well, how about this? The album is special enough that if you told me it was the greatest rap album of all time to some people, it has enough stuff to it that you could say that. And not a lot of rap albums have that in it where you could say it's like, no, that can be the best rap album of all time. Like,
but a lot of other rappers get penalized for not having other classics in their catalog.
But they don't have but AG, they don't have a classic like Doggy Style. All classics are not the same. That's what I mean. It's like, no, that's not just a classic rap album. This is some of the best rap stuff ever made. Period. Point blank.
Yeah, that's why I say that album got Snoop just about the most equity any one particular classic album can get one artist.
I think it's the Chronic and Doggy Style together because they also came
Combination, yeah.
back. Yeah, I think it's a combination of it. But I do understand what you're saying. But the equity is deserved because the Chronic and Doggy Style are both top 10 rap albums to me, and he's the front man on both of those albums. And he's the only guy that's walking around that's the front man on 2 top 10 rap albums. Front man. Yeah. So he's like that. Doggy Style's like that. We're gonna slide to somebody else who is all time great and has another top 5 rap album, but this rap album definitely ain't it. Nostradamus by Nas on the same day, November 23rd, 1999. I'm gonna let you all take it away.
Classic.
Apparently, I mean Kendrick dropped this week. No, Kendrick already dropped this, this past week. So everything apparently I say is just hater shit for the next week anyway. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, don't do that, bro.
Let's move on.
Sean, you're right. Let's move on from Sean. Okay, I would like everything that Sean had said stricken from the record. Objection, foolery, fuckery, in an open space that's degrading to the brand of hip hop talks. AG, go. Please. Oh my God.
It's one of Son's worst albums, but it does have a few hidden gems on there. Life We Chose is one, Family with Mobb Deep, one of their lesser talked about collabs, but I really like that record. Shoot 'Em Up is a classic joint. I love that record. Come and Get Me, the premiere, that's on the lower tier of their collaborations, but still a solid record. You know what I'm saying? If you look hard enough, there's some gems on this album, but this album lacked the direction, and it wasn't it coming off the heels of a bootlegged I Am and scrambling to get another record out. It is what it is. I mean, all the legends got duds in their catalog, so let's chalk that up. It's one of Nas's worst, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not a classic, Sean. Don't know what the hell you're sniffing. All right.
I was being facetious.
Must be angel dust.
I want to ask you what you sniffing, honestly. I really do. I want to know what you sniffing, because
right now, sniffing and got shrooms.
Shrooms and everything.
First of all, you don't need to worry about me and what I'm doing. You need to be worried about.
I don't even have eyes open right now.
Okay. You don't need to know. It's none of your business. All right.
Just be
happy that I'm here right now. Okay. Just be happy I'm here right now. All right. Be happy. Be happy. No. Be happy. Be happy. Be happy that you're in my presence. Okay. All right.
Shrooms are popping Adderall in the good deal, man.
First of all,
Cook got ADHD.
First of all, AG, Life We Chose and Family. Those are not good songs. Those are not.
Oh, Life We Chose is great.
It's not great.
It's great.
Poem is not great. That song is not great.
The production's not great, but lyrically, what he's doing on there is great.
Beat is mid. The strong part of the album is that central part where it goes from Come and Get Me, the DJ Premier joint, the Havoc joint, Shoot 'Em Up, and then Last Words.
Last Words. I forgot about that. Damn. Yeah.
Last Words is the best song on there, in my opinion.
Last Words is phenomenal.
Family is a nice tail end to tail out those songs, because Family is strong enough to be with those songs, but it would be the weakest of those 4 songs. Outside of those 4 songs, the rest of the album is very suspect. The beat's been changed on Project Windows from the one Nasheem Myrick did. I don't know what Trackmasters did. It's one of their missteps for that time, and a time where they typically made the right move production-wise. Records like Big Girl and it was bad. It was bad. What do you think? Some of us have Angels, like it's cool, but it just, I don't know, it feels like it's just there.
It's about 7 solid records on there. You know what I'm saying? But that's only half the album.
About 4.
Yes, man. Let's move on.
Let's move on. We got people pulling in. They want to see the main show, so let's go ahead.
Nobody asked them what they wanted to see. All right. Did you ask them? Did we take a poll? RZA with Bobby Digital. November 24th, 1998. This album was some mid, guys.
It wasn't mid.
It was ahead of his time. Yo, let's let Sean take this one.
Don't do that. Y'all are not about to sit up here and cap and cape and look a who and rubberneck for some motherfucking Nostradamus and Bobby Digital back to back. Like
rubberneck.
Doing that.
What the hell?
We're not doing
that. That's shroom talk. I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't understand. It's supposed to be shrooms. No, Bobby Digital's all right. Let's go to the next one. 808s.
808s and heartbreaks.
Yeah. Create a whole new.
Now this one was for real ahead of its time because we wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. It was different. It was different.
It birthed the whole style of what's going on presently.
I still don't care. It's not that good. It's not that good.
I like the album. I was one of the people who actually liked it in real time, but it did take a while to get used to it because I was one of the people that wanted the Good Ass Job like album with him rapping. But you know, I remember taking a road trip and just spinning this back to back, and it was a vibe, man. You know, like I said, it spawned So Far Gone and records like that. You know, Cuddy, like
it is.
We have
it birthed the generation.
We have super chats. I don't have time for this. All right. Michael Williams with the $5 super chat.
Adderall and shrooms, man.
Rate these albums best to worst. 444, Mr. Morale, and the Half Steppers, and the Death of Slim Shady. Well, I put the Death of Slim Shady first, and then followed by 444, and then Mr. Morale and the Mid Crappers. What are you all?
I don't even have a ranking for that one.
All right. Next super chat. Glad we had this talk. 007, what up? Watch yourself, Coop. You know how I feel about Nostradamus. I'm sorry. And I told you I'm sorry that you feel that way. That is an album with unwarranted stones cast, and it's better than you think. I hate this narrative, and it's a B-. Queens get the money. It's not a B-. It's a C-. It's a C-. It might be a D+, depending on.
He might have sold everybody on that if he didn't put the Queens get the money at the end to show the bias.
CJ the Kid with the $5 super chat. Doggy Style got 4 mics, then re-rated 5 later, and Nostradamus got a 3.5 mics. I think Nostradamus is better than you know what album. I hope it's not Doggy Style that you're saying that, CJ.
No, I think he's talking about Mr. Morale, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, everything's better than Mr. Morale.
That's just my assumption. I give a 3.5 is accurate rating for Nostradamus.
I thought he got a 3. No, I thought he got a 3, and it deserved a 3 because it's a 3.
In real time at 99, I thought it was better than. I was more let down by Jay's Volume 3 than I was by Nostradamus. I consider that one of Jay's worst.
No, Nostradamus is worse than Volume 3, way worse. Stuff on Volume 3 is
I think they're comparable, but
I'm sorry that you feel that way. That is egregious and classless, lacking taste overall. We're going to move to
just regurgitate what he get told in therapy. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Right.
He just said it like 7 times, like you learned that yesterday.
Right. TJ the Kid with the $2 super chat. Bobby Digital got a 3.5, I think. That too is probably inaccurate. That too deserves a 3 because it's some fucking mid. All right. Web Visibility, $5. Don't be slandering Bobby Digital. That was Bobby Digital. That was a superb album. There was nothing superb about that album except for the song "Kiss from the Black Widow." My Love in
Holocaust is great.
Holocaust, Domestic Violence,
which was before Kendrick's record. That probably inspired Kendrick's record. We Cry Together.
Except for It's Better. Those are the records on there. The actual song, the B, the O, the B, the B, that was cool. That was cool.
Oh my goodness.
That was cool. It was just okay. We're going to move on to the next topic. West Coast is winning big, guys. Ice Cube strikes again with Man Down.
I don't know if it's. I love Cube, but I don't know if this is added to the wins.
It's a step backwards. What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Y'all don't like this album at all?
No, did you miss
it? It hurts me to say it, but I don't. I really don't.
Did you hear it, Cool?
I have heard it. I want to hear your thoughts.
Cube is in my top 10, but this wasn't it. It had all the features you'd want on a Cube album. You got Snoop, Exhibit, Corrupt. You got everybody, but it was all over the place, sonic wise. Cube sounds like dated. I mean, I get it that you know a legend in this game, but you know you got to update your flow sometimes. And you know he really, even when he was rapping alongside other legends like you know Busta or whoever was on the track with him, he still sounded the most dated. And I probably, save for the Rakim album, I was just really disappointed in this album from one of my top 10 MCs. Like I'll put it down there with the Rakim album. I was really disappointed by this.
I agree. We listened to it in the Discord. Shout out to the Discord, man. Discord be going crazy. We actually did like a listening session with Trife and Evans, and we were laughing the entire time.
Don't do that, man.
We were. I mean, honestly, I didn't feel comfortable laughing because he's a legend. We were laughing at every song.
Y'all were laughing at Ice Cube?
You disrespectful, man.
I'm not happy about, look, I'm not happy about it. I'm just saying. I'm not
wrong with you.
I'm ashamed. I don't like.
You were laughing at Ice Cube?
Yes. Cool. It was not good. This is not a good album.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad, guys. It's not.
What are some songs that you like, Coop?
He can't tell you he didn't listen to the album. Ain't no way. Coop gonna say today was a good day. No, Coop, that was
you didn't. You didn't like Facts?
No.
I don't think he liked it the way he was rapping on it.
I didn't like was it It's My Ego Trip, and then he doubled down at the end of the record and got the feature.
I don't like either one of those.
You know what's the glaring most worst thing about this album is the hooks.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you. Hooks was never necessarily his strength anyway. Yes. 3 Little Piggies, no.
The only one I really like, probably out of the most album is the number joint, the 51 where he's talking about shit. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I like that one.
What about I'm a Burn Rubber? You didn't like I'm a Burn Rubber?
No. That was one of the ones we laughed at.
No.
That's one of the ones we laughed at.
Cool, we laughed at that, to be honest.
That's West Coast shit, guys. That's West Coast shit, though. They're gonna love that shit.
Don't do that, though. Coop say it's West Coast and stuff, but then you pick apart Kendrick's album. Don't do that, man.
No, I didn't. I said on the last show that it's not better than Kendrick's album. But I don't think it's a bad album. Y'all are saying it's a bad album. I think it's just a solid project.
For as high as I hold Cube, like I said, this was on the level of that Rakim album for me. Both of those were major disappointments on the year.
Album. Don't do that to Ice Cube.
I don't know.
That is ridiculous. This is way better than the Rakim album. Way better.
And it's and this is what, like 19 tracks? Like,
and it's too damn long.
It was not necessary.
Too damn long.
It was too long.
Nobody asked your old ass to make all this music.
Nah, bro. I'm gonna have to reevaluate my top 10 because you know what I'm saying?
Hey, not in public. Not if you're talking about putting Kendrick in there over Ice Cube. You need to be.
Well, Kendrick's already in my top 10, but he's at 10. And Cube I got at like 8, I think, if I'm counting right in my mind. But it's just sad to see because
you're asking me if I'm on the mushrooms.
No, but listen though, for real.
Give me like, the fentanyl so I can put AG out of his misery.
For real, like we hold stuff too high in our formative years. But if people got classics in our formative years, and then beyond that, they got more mid albums than they got classic albums. If they decide to keep going, then you really got to reevaluate that situation. I love Cube. Cube and Scarface were both my favorite rappers before I discovered who Nas was. So this is I'm not being disrespectful like Sean. Sean is super disrespectful. But I'm just being. You said you laughed.
Sean has no friend that doesn't know any better.
I didn't laugh. I was hurt. I was upset about this album.
I was hurt too. That's why.
But you don't laugh when you hurt.
When
that's condescending. No,
I'm laughing because I'm hurt. Just what I be doing.
You laughing to keep from crying? Yeah, what you say? Laugh now, cry later.
We're taking Sean ass to the Wizard to get a heart. So,
yo, man, that movie was dope. By the way, you know what I'm saying? The Wiz, that joint was actually all right. I mean, the Wicked or whatever.
Oh, Wiz, which one? The black one, the black version?
Yeah, that one's a classic. But I'm talking about the new joint, Wicked. It's all right.
That's scary, huh?
So,
would you say scary?
Did you call it scary?
Yeah, the Wiz. I was little. Man, come on.
Break the album.
You know,
Rate,
Wow.
rate this album.
Yeah.
Don't make me do that. I can't do that.
I can do
Yeah.
that.
What
We
the
love
fuck
you,
is
Coop.
this? Is hip hop talks. What do you
It is.
mean? What are we doing?
Right. We love you, Cube. This is
2.5.
2.5.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is 2.5.
Yeah.
That's being fair. That's being fair, Coop.
And I apologize, Cube. You one of my goats. You one of my legends. But this is a 2.5.
You know, this has nothing to do with your legend at all.
This
I
album
get it.
is
You
solid.
talked all that about Nostradamus. This makes Nostradamus look like Illmatic. If I'm being real,
You got a point. You got a point.
this is sad, man. Let's move on.
That's
Like, no, time out. What do you rate the record, Coop?
5.
Is it better than the Glorilla?
Nothing better than Glorilla. Nothing is better than Glorilla.
Definitely not fucking with Glow. Okay. Not fucking with Glow. I was thinking a 3.25 to a 3.5.
What?
No.
Nah.
It's a solid album, guys. Y'all are tripping.
No, it's not a solid album, and it's
How many
okay.
times have y'all listened to it? It is all over the place. It is all over the place and too long, and the hooks do struggle. Y'all brought up a lot of the weaknesses. Y'all don't see any strengths in the album. Y'all don't see flashes of old Cube in there somewhere.
That problem. That's all I hear on the album is old Cube. It sounds like Cube from late 80s, early 90s in a 2024 like soundscape.
Okay. So y'all wanted him to switch it up.
Yeah, it just sounds dated, man. Like
What did
it
you want
don't
him to switch it up and do?
Not so much switch it up. Do maximize who you are. I don't feel like he maximized who he is as an artist, as a writer. Cube is one of the best storytellers organically.
Yeah.
We didn't really get that.
And there's a lot of stories on here.
But it didn't hit.
That's what I mean. That's why I was asking y'all. Y'all don't like Three Little Piggies? Y'all don't like
Here's the thing, Coop. He has a lot of 80s throwback sound and beats, but he even sounds dated on those. And those should be a layup where you should be able to sound dated. Like you making me come off disrespectful. I don't want to talk about this no more.
You laughing right now, but I was laughing
disrespectful because you are disrespectful.
Very disrespectful, AG. Very disrespectful.
You're not much better, nigga. What are you talking about?
Yo, I apologize to Q.
You want to know what?
I'm working through my
O'Shea Jr. I apologize because O'Shea Jr. got to defend this. Like I'm like, yeah, I apologize to everybody, man. Like, yo,
we can't trust you. Next topic. Y'all ready for the main event?
Yeah. Let's get into it. We got the people in the building now, so let's get to it.
So apparently, Drake has decided to sue UMG. UMG, by the way, for those of you who don't know,
petition. Got a petition.
petition
to sue Universal Music Group
behind
what he deems as is defamation.
Yeah, Coop is on shrooms.
you smoking defamation.
Like he said, no. He filed a petition for defamation.
Yes.
Yeah. Coop struggled to get that out, yo. That was wild. Oh, my bad, yo.
I like this version of Coop.
Yo, Coop, man.
Yeah. You mean to take a Coop? You mean to get it?
No, I got it.
All right.
So he's suing UMG, saying that pretty much that they put a focus on Not Like Us, and he believes that bots have been created. Payola has occurred with DJs about the popularity of this record, and pretty much every advantage that every rapper the last 15 years feel like has been bequeathed to Drake is pretty much what he's suing UMG for. It's the same advantages he's had, and he looks like a fucking snitch in the process. This is all bad. I definitely don't want my white leather OVO jacket anymore. I want to say I'm out. Sean, take me out the screen so that you and AG can talk about this. I really don't want to.
He said I'm out.
Yeah.
And you know it's bad if he turned it down to leather he'd been begging for 6 months.
Right.
No. When I see the nigga, he gonna owe me some money now. Because now I want what the leather was worth. And I figured the leather was worth about 5 racks. So I'm gonna need 7,500 because I'm gonna need interest.
Yo, man. Before we proceed, let me say this.
What do you have to say about this sucker ass behavior?
Let me say this.
Is it classifiable sucker ass behavior?
It depends. Our opinions and our thoughts are our opinions and our thoughts. We don't have anything in front of us to talk about or to speak on the legalities of this matter. This is a very serious matter. We're going to have banter about it. We're going to laugh and joke about it. We're just going to give our opinions. So I want to put that disclaimer out there so we don't get any petitions against hip hop talks. So I just want to make sure I throw that out there before we proceed. So now we got that out the way. This is an interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing because this is taken. This is a little bit apart from the battle itself. It's not so much about Kendrick and Drake at this point. This is more about Drake, UMG, and Kendrick is a byproduct of some of that. On the surface, yes, there's a lot of sucker stuff going on right now. On the surface, it looks weak. A lot of those things. It's the wrong timing. You're talking about off the heels of an onslaught battle that you were just in, that you lost, and now you're looking crazy because like it looks like you're crying to the people. You're crying to the powers that be, if you will. When you possibly benefited from the powers that be majority of your career, regardless of how you want to look at it. And now we're here because you got to keep in mind the petition is against UMG. Spotify is caught up into that as well. iHeart is caught up into that, and some other entities as well. When you go after a juggernaut like that, right? No matter who you are as an artist, they will remind you that you are still an artist. They'll remind you that you're still a worker. And they're going to do everything that they can to make sure that you are reminded by that repeatedly. And that's what we're going to start seeing. It's going to be a very interesting trick because now you're going to have to see how other artists move. You got to pay attention to those who's not saying anything and those who are saying something. The ones who are not saying anything, those are the ones you have to pay close attention to because who can also benefit from this? If anything gets substantiated, if they continue to go down this road, they can substantiate any of these claims that he's making, not just about the not like us stuff and the defamation of the character, the devalue of his property, because that's what this is about. He's trying to get them to see that they are devaluing his brand, so his stock can go lower, so he cannot get a higher payout of what he think he's owed as an artist. I think that's what it's coming down to. Excuse me.
See, I think legally speaking, though, he's in some sort of gray area because if you look at it from their perspective, they can just turn around and say, well, hey, we're just promoting another one of our flagship artists. And it's not like, Kendrick may not do Drake numbers, but quite frankly, he's done Drake numbers this year that has warranted some first place placement. But Kendrick has typically done numbers. It's not like he's devoid of doing quality numbers that is above the fray. So it's not like them has a music group, because they are a music group. They are in charge of distributing and manufacturing a musical product, saying like, no, this is us putting a funnel of money into a viable entity. It's actually, if you look at it from hip hop terms, we would actually want our record labels to put money into artists that we feel are great, that have been viable for this culture the way Kendrick has, as they get older. One of the problems is that actually record labels don't do that anymore. So it's actually UMG actually doing something that is like rare. Like, think about how many of our favorite artists that we grew up with are independent now. You're talking about we're talking about an Ice Cube album, like whether we love it or hate it or think it's solid or whatever. But that album got released independent. Nobody signed Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? These Nas projects have been independent, guys. You know what I'm saying? So there's something to be said for that aspect of it as well. What do you have to say about that?
Go ahead, AJ.
Sean said he wasn't going to get into the legalities of it, but I ain't passed the bar, but I know a little bit. Nah, I'm joking. but real talk, man. Drake is acting like a full-blown diva, man. I'm just calling it what it is, man. Like, at the end of the day, this is hip-hop. Every artist can sue for defamation of character at this point. Let's just call it what it is. He's doing this so the song can't be performed at the Super Bowl. You get out in front of it now, you got a lawsuit attached to it. Super Bowl, the NFL, all the sponsors, they don't want to touch that or go near it because there's litigation tied up in that, right? And with this petition, he's pretty much, in my opinion, indicting himself, because who's to say that Drake didn't benefit from the bots, prior in his career? It's a part of the hip hop culture that early in Drake's career questioned his success. Although as talented as he is, they were questioning if he was an industry plant. So, what's the old folks that used to say, throw the baby out with the bathwater? Like, he's just trying to take everything down. He's willing to expose himself at the expense of like exposing, what they did for Kendrick or what have you. You know what I mean? And that's just wild behavior to me. And, a lot of these labels are in the bed with the streaming services anyway. So, I mean, you're not really bringing anything new to light, but this is something he's benefited from himself in his own career. So the timing of it just looks nasty. It's nasty work that you would do that after you got your ass whooped in a battle. And it's all predicated on that, because if you ask me, this doesn't happen if Drake doesn't lose that battle handedly to Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he goes and fights against the label, which the labels do need to be, questioned about their practices and stuff. And the artists need to band together and then, come up with these things to go against them. But the premise as to which he's doing that, nasty.
AG, we got some super chats.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
First of all, I want to say AG said throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I'm the one that y'all think is on mushrooms. Okay, we're going back.
I'm just old.
You are
CJ
on
the Kid
mushrooms.
with the $5 super chat. Nostradamus is better than the pillage. Everything's better than the pillage. I just don't want to get verbal stuff. So just to be safe, please get the money. That's funny, CJ. The Raisin Head, $4.99. Being that Ghost spit one of Lord Superb's verses on Good Times, do we believe Perb's allegations that he wrote for Ghost on Supreme Clientele? No, I don't believe those allegations.
And rest in peace, Perb as well.
Yeah. Web visibility, once again, $5. Looks like LL has the best album out of the OGs so far. The Force was dope.
Facts.
I think, yeah, actually, he's right about that.
LL didn't sound dated like Cube did, that's for sure.
And LL was here first. That's what's crazy about it. L was here first. Crazy. Tracy G, what up, Tracy, with the $20? Never thought I would be talking from this perspective, because the higher ups are coming as a collective to end my run and send me a message. 40, did you get the message? 30 for 30 freestyle 2015. Drake has been on this for a while. 100.
Great point.
Well, he should have did. That's okay, Tracy. He should have did the petition then. That's all. If he's been on it for a while, he should have did the petition then, because the optics of it looks nasty now. Coming after, it's like Drake can't. Hold on, Coop. It's like he can't even fathom another artist doing numbers. Like, yo, this shit got to be made up. It's got to be manufactured, because ain't no other rap artist out here can generate numbers like I generate. It's like he can't wrap his head around that. Blows my mind, man. He going out bad. He going out real bad.
AG, let's get to the rest of the super chats. That's all I was gonna say. Like, hold your thoughts till we get to the rest.
I'm sorry. I was tight. My fault.
You're all 007 with the $20 super chat. Drake got zero hip hop credibility in my eyes. This is going so far left and should never be the result. At the end of the day, take it to the records and prove your worth instead of the courts. It's his fault he lost the battle. Web visibility with the $5. If I was UMG, I would countersue Drake for defamation as well. Let's just put everything on the table. Vince Smith, $5. Drake said hip hop is weird now. Enough said. That tell you where he is at now. Tracy G.
He said hip hop is weird, but moves like this.
We'll talk about it in 1 second, AG. Tracy G with the $5 super chat. Hey, got the email. There will be a Dreamville Fest 2025. Tell Kenny catch up, Cole. GOAT. Oh, Tracy.
He gonna be at Dreamville, probably apologizing for something else.
Tracy. Why would you get all of us started with that super chat? Knowing when you see me trying to read through these super chats and get the show moving. It's ridiculous, Tracy. Stefan Young with the $2 super chat. Is this about Drake getting sued for the 100 gigs? I mean, Drake gets sued all the time. My mere thoughts, $9.99. How much does this lawsuit hurt Drake's brand, and is he entering his Michael Jordan with the Wizards years? Hold on one second. I think those are good questions. Let's hold that thought. Vince Smith, $5. Whatever in Coop's solo cup, they got him cooling on Thanksgiving morning.
It's not a cup. It's not a cup. There's nothing in that cup. It's called shrooms and animals.
Let's go back. Let's go back to my mere thoughts super chat, where she said, "How much does this lawsuit hurt Drake's brand? And is he entering his Michael Jordan with the Wizard years?" AG.
I don't think he's entering his Michael Jordan in the Wizards years, but I'm trying to figure how I can delicately say this or whatever. If we're talking about brands, if we're looking at what Drake comes from and you know how brands and conglomerates are structured, it makes sense that he would do something like this.
Do you think
if you feel what I'm saying, if you want to read between the lines of what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? But
no, I get what you're saying. Is the timing intentional? Like, is he doing this intentionally at this time? Like, you know, like these guys know when each other's albums is dropping and like all those other things. You know what I'm saying?
it's very intentional, Coop. And I think it's that, you know, that's why it looks so nasty. How are you going to sit on a stream and say like rap is weird now, but you're moving like this? You know, we had Rap Roundtable on here the other day, and we had a little debate about what was the best beef of all time, like Jay and Nas or Kendrick and Drake. It's stuff like this why I can't get behind this particular beef as the greatest beef of all time, because there's so much weird stuff, bro. It's like just all this nasty work and weird behavior. You got the J. Cole apology, you got Drake suing people, you got Rick Ross that nobody asked for. It's just all this weird stuff happening in this beef that's just like, it's just super corny, and I'm just like tired of it. I'm ready for it to be over. Granted, I'm not complaining because it's a stimulus package. People are tuning in to see what we think, so I appreciate that. But at the same time, this is wild, corny.
It is.
This is what happens when you choose corny ass niggas to be king. This is what happens. Don't be surprised at corny ass behavior. You chose corny ass niggas. That's why it's like, hey, you ever watch them little YouTube like house like things where they like these little like Indian people and like they build the houses and like all that from scratch? Oh no, they got the right idea, because it's like when I look at shit like that, I'm like, we may need them when Trump get in office and stuff. You have to be ready for all things at all times. I have no idea where I was going with that.
Of course you didn't, but I got you.
But this is like I'm glad you brought him up, because this is like him when he lost and was trying to say like, yo, I know they cheated because I be cheating myself. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when he said that.
You know what? One of the things that's floating around is that people are saying the biggest foul on this, and tell me what you think about this, Sean, is that, well, when Back to Back got the type of notoriety and airplay that Not Like Us received, Drake never said a word then when that happened. So, no. Is this the worst move ever?
It's up there. And again, we have to see how this thing shake out, because how long have we known Drake was corny? How long? We
got to stop acting surprised. Right. We got to stop acting surprised at it.
Right, man. Look, if the devil got to show you his horns, when you believe in the devil, you behind the power curve. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, Sean, because I was talking to one of my homies this morning, and he said, you know, he lost the battle on wax, right? But when you lose and you still at odds with somebody, you could take it to another level that they maybe can't. Like how Jay was blocking Nas's releases and stuff on some business type stuff. Like, yes. So he's like, okay, if Drake can't beat him in that regard, then why not go this route? You know what I'm saying? But I just think it looks hella corny, regardless of who's doing it.
Got a lot of bitch assness. We got more super chats. We got to get to, fellas. More super chats. CJ the Kid with $5. Appreciate you, CJ. Someone said Ja Rule can finally rest. There's a new sheriff in town.
Yo, that's the best. Yo, that's the best super chat we've ever had. So, yo, that's crazy.
It's not done. Instead of getting Ja Ruled, it's now getting Drake's. Do you agree, fellas? Oh man. Next super chat. Our man with the $4.99. Peace. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. AG, do you have LL over Kendrick?
The album, that's a close one. They're probably my 3 and 4 for this year. If I'm ranking my top 5 albums, they're probably my 3 and 4, maybe interchangeable.
But he asked you which one over which one.
I'm gonna go with recency bias. I'm gonna go with the Kendrick for recency bias.
Wow, that was nasty.
LP, what up, LP? $9.99. This is nasty work. He's suing over a beef and bringing the law into it. He's a part of the culture, but he was never from it. Don't forget about the blackface and using Pac voice. No self-awareness. Ooh, strong statements from LP. Andrew Williams, $1.99. You're right on the money, AG, about Drake. So let's look past the veil of everything that's already happened. Where are we headed with this moving forward? Let's not look at it from the perspective of what's already happened. I think most of the hip hop community is in agreement that this is a Mitch move and Mitch behavior, and it shouldn't be tolerated. But what is to come from it musically, personally, professionally? My takeaway from some of this, and I don't think people are realizing this, and I've been saying this for a minute. No, these niggas really actually don't like each other in real time, because you gotta not like somebody in real time to do shit like this. You feel what I'm saying? Like this ain't nothing that you do just to prove a point or just to be petty. Like petty, even petty's got a level where it stops, and it's like then it really does become personal. And it's like these guys really don't like each other at all.
But Coop, here's the thing. I got 2 different spectrums on this, right? I got one where this is outside of the beef. This is Drake versus UMG, because allegedly Drake was able to recoup the money that UMG gave him, right? He wanted to negotiate for a higher price. What he's saying is that they're trying to devalue his status so he cannot get the maximum dollars.
But this is where I disagree with you, Sean, though. You said it's Drake versus UMG, and
one second.
My fault. Go ahead.
It's not really a disagreement or agreement thing. That's what's being alleged, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
The other side of that is the fact that if this plays out and UMG really was doing not just to him, but to other artists that were getting shafted, because we already heard stories about UMG and the other record labels doing certain things to artists that artists could not fight. They didn't have the resources or the money, whatever, to fight it. If he comes out on the other side of that, if it is still a corny move, but what if he comes on the other side of that? What happens then? Because now he becomes a martyr for the other artists that's behind him. That's why I say in the very beginning, you got to pay attention to who's saying something or who's not saying something. Funk Flex is one of the biggest haters that's out there when it comes to Drake. And he even said himself, he is not wrong. That's what Flex said.
Okay, but I don't care what Flex said. But here's what I'm gonna say to Sean.
Straight up, baby. Straight up.
Sean, you said it's Drake versus UMG, and Kendrick is a byproduct of that. I think you got it backwards. I think it's Drake versus Kendrick, and UMG is the byproduct of that. And he's using this Kendrick thing as a vehicle to go after them. Yes, they do need to be, gone after as far as legal terms of what they do to artists. But he would not be doing that if Kendrick wouldn't have ran the numbers up. And both things can't be true. You got one contingent of fans saying, like, okay, Kendrick wouldn't be doing the numbers if he wasn't talking about Drake. And then you got another contingent of fans saying, like, well, he's cheating and using bots. Which one is it?
No,
both.
Listen, who's benefiting the most?
But it's like when Gamora asked, it's like when Gamora asked Thanos, like, if this goes down, it's like, what did it cost? It's like everything. Like, if this goes down, it indicts Drake also, not just Kendrick, not just any other artist. Drake is guaranteed to be part of that talk.
Okay.
Yes, he wants a bigger bag.
Hold on, fellas. Let me ask.
He got nothing to win from this.
What if we're just part?
No one
What
has.
if this is just all part of a bigger show that we're being shown? You know,
I
what
hope
if
not.
what if UMG is just holding the strings and we're watching Kendrick and Drake be puppets on the string and dance at UMG's behest right now, and none of this is real.
That's very believable for me.
None of this is real.
That's very believable.
Because I believe that's real.
Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see.
I believe this not being real is realer than it being real at this point, to be honest with you.
Nah, I'm with you, cool. Because this shit too crazy to be real.
Because now it's reaching heights to keep the sizzle about it going as much that it really does feel like some shit from The Young and the Restless or General Hospital.
And the timing is impeccable. Like, it's almost scripted.
That's what I mean. The timing of it, that's soap opera shit. And it's like, and Jack comes back right as Victor and Ashley are about to fuck. It's like, no. It's like, no, nigga. Like, it never happens like that. They always smash about 3 or 4 times. Then he comes in after the dude is out and already done took the draws and don't even know about the draws. Like, that's how it really happens. That happens in real life.
Again, UMG is benefiting from all of this, regardless of how this stands.
Yeah, either way.
Say, yeah, we can call Drake corny all we want. We know that. We're not surprised by that.
No.
Every fragment of this whole thing. Everything is corny in all of this.
What Chris Rock say? That tiger went tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nigga.
Yeah. This whole battle is corny. All of this is ridiculous. You got Future out there saying he didn't know that it was a diss. The whole thing is just nasty.
And that too was the mushrooms and the Adderall on Future's behalf, because there's a 50-50 chance that happened because of those things.
So Sean, you said that Drake is trying to get a bigger bag from UMG. Why not just go independent? You the biggest artist in the world at your craft. Why not just go independent?
No, he exists in the machine. He exists the way he exists because he exists in the machine.
Thank you. That's why I say it's a no-win situation, because this indicts him just as well as it'll indict anybody else.
And that's why I feel like we're being lied to, and all of this is being fabricated.
So you can't tell me it's like he don't care. It's just like, okay, in a situation where it was revealed that, what I'm saying, he had reference tracks, ghostwriter, what have you. You know what I mean? Like, that would be like somebody like, well, I'm expose everybody, including myself, that got a ghostwriter. You know what I mean? Even if it hurts my career. You know what I mean? It's no reasoning.
Or the people that really sign everybody's checks is like, hey, Pawn, you move here 2 paces. Hey, Pawn, you move here, right here. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what it's starting to look like, because the timing of it is starting to look like it's like, oh, well, this shit feels like it's like, one of those things. It's so blatantly stupid how orchestrated it is that it has you questioning your intelligence, and you have to remind yourself, no, this is blatantly stupid and it's being orchestrated right in front of us.
Yeah. And he doesn't have anything. The battle's over. It's not like if he won this petition and it, went to court and he actually won it, that people would double back and say, you know what, Drake won that because they were, overinflating those Kendrick numbers. Like, people thought that Drake lost even prior to Not Like Us, if we're being honest.
People thought he lost on the quality of record, because with Not Like Us, Kendrick beat Drake's own game.
In the strategy, but I think this is more so he doesn't, on the defamation of character thing, like, the Super Bowl is a major scale. So if you get out ahead of that, you're not getting that message that you're a PDF file in millions of people's homes while they're watching the Super Bowl for entertainment. So I get him getting out ahead of that. But at the end of the day, it's hip hop. You're supposed to do defamation of character for whoever you're going against. That's what this is. And that's what he begged for and signed up for. But now he mad. He on the stream, he talking about like only Facts Can Take Me Out, Not Fairy Tales on that streamer. Like, okay, granted, if it's cap, but
Very
that's
fast.
what you do in the battle. His allegations weren't proven either.
I'm tired of talking about it, fellas.
I want to ask Sean one more question, just so we go. Like, I want to ask you because you talked like you had the most sense about this, because you was trying to, shoot it straight down the middle, you know what I'm saying, and not lean towards any way, right? But what would Drake have to gain? Say if his petition does end up going to court, he sues them, he wins. Now, where does that put Drake? What does he have to gain from seeing this all the way through? What does he have to gain?
You know how big of a win that would look on his resume if he took down a juggernaut like UMG?
Would he not be a pariah in the music industry, though?
No, because what if the other artists, the other big artists, not the bigger, but the other big artists come behind him and says, you know what? I've also did not benefit from what UMG did. What if they lost money as well? Again, guys,
but you said big artists. They probably did at one point, but now it wasn't their turn. It was Kendrick's turn. Those big artists that you're talking about are going to get behind them and champion Drake for taking them down. They've all probably benefited from the same thing that he's trying to take them to task for.
I get it. I get all of that. I'm not agreeing with the way that he's going about it at the timing. I don't care about that part. What I'm saying is I'm trying to keep it straight down the middle. I don't have a dog in the fight. Y'all know how I feel about Drake. You know how I feel about Kendrick. I don't have a dog in the fight. What I'm saying is if they can substantiate the specific claims that he's making specific claims. He's not trying to sue Kendrick. What they're saying is they're telling him to sue Kendrick. They're like, it's on him, not on us.
Right.
So they're trying to deflect already. What I'm saying is if he comes out, and if this all comes out in a wash, and it shows that UMG as a juggernaut organization, as it stands, and they come out and they were wrong, and other artists find that and say, you know what? Now we have something against UMG. Now we have another case. This is how lawsuits continue to spiral, because if one entity wins, everyone else are encouraged to start putting in their bid as well. What if Rick Ross comes back and say, well, and you know how he is, he's a leech. He'll find something, he'll latch on to it. If he comes out and says,
I was waiting for it.
No, I'm giving him credit, because if he sees that, case in point, somebody, you see the commercials. If you ever, drunk water from this particular area, you are liable to get, whatever.
Class action suits. Yeah.
Right. Now everybody's going to jump onto it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The allegations, the petition is very specific. He's pointing out specific things in this allegation. Right. So now if other artists are saying, yo, I lost money because of this, and this, and their attorneys are listening. Attorneys are listening to this too, saying, whoa, my artist lost a lot of money. So now everybody's going to start jumping on that bandwagon if this thing comes out in a wash.
Everybody else didn't get their ass kicked by Kendrick in the battle, though, either.
Absolutely.
But where does that, well, I guess what I'm asking you, Sean, is where does that leave Drake's relationship with UMG, even if he was to win?
It's done. He has no relationship after that. You got to now figure out if you're going to go independent or you're going to just retire.
He should have been did that already.
Somebody else is going to pick him up. I mean, he's Drake, so somebody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who's going to? Drake is the type. He has an ego, which the reason he lost the battle. He's going to feel like, well, I can go independent and get this thing going.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yo, Michael Brown. Michael Brown, see your little fuck ass comment. Why don't you come up on here and talk about it if you know so much? We're keeping everything straight down the middle. I have no dog in the fight. I'm not a Drake fan. I'm not a Kendrick fan like that. I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm a fan of music. There's no gymnastics. If you read the fine print and understand what you're reading, what you're looking at, then you understand. Come on, that bullshit, man. Sorry about that. Back to the proceedings. I could probably
back to the proceedings.
Say shit every week though. But back to the proceedings at hand. Like I was saying, if he comes out in a wash, then we'll see what happens after that. After that, he may have to go independent, straight up. If he goes independent, if anyone takes him independent, because UMG would say, look, if you want to go independent, do your thing, but we're not behind you anymore.
Hey,
figure that out. You know what I mean? So
He's
yeah,
big enough where he could do that. I mean, I don't see no problem.
I don't know.
Fellas,
I don't know.
you know what?
I'm
This
sure
is
everybody's like, I'm capping or caping for this guy. I'm not even a Drake fan. I'm
this
keeping it
is the
straight.
type
No,
of,
no, that's why I say you talking like you got the most sense out of
hold
all
on.
of us because you're just talking about basic legalities of the situation and how it's going to like
Right.
impact the space. You know what I'm saying?
Hold
I'm
on,
more concerned with how it looks on Drake.
Facts.
fellas.
It's okay not to like Drake. I don't like him like that. It's okay.
You
But
want
let's
to know
call
what
it
this
what it
is?
is. I'm in the middle.
You want to know what this is? And I'm not being funny because I hear it even in y'all's conversation. Don't take this the long way. I hear the bureaucracy and all of it. And times like this is why hip hop really needs a union. Seriously. Like everything that we just discussed and everything that unpacked and even everything that you just said to whoever said what
Yeah.
in the chat, Sean, it's all coming from a place of it being still kind of like the wild, wild west and unorganized and disorganized and not unionized. Cause it's like really Drake should have like for who Drake is as an artist, if this was a legitimate beef that he has as an artist and it's not fabricated, he should have the type of representation to like go get these things worked out behind the scenes so that it never even makes the fray like this. You feel what I'm saying?
But would he even be part of a hip hop union because he transcends hip hop and he probably wouldn't even you know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't even like pigeonhole himself to be
Look,
hip hop.
you got to be mindful because you can be on top of the world and then a nigga come in like whoop your ass in a battle and make the biggest song of the year, which is the shit that you really known for. And then life is different, and then you can't be kicking that I'm bigger than hip hop shit because then you need hip hop at that moment in time. So just be mindful of those things. We need to move on to the next topic, but first we need to get to some more super chats. Good day for the super chats. Appreciate all y'all out there super chatting us. Once again, make sure you click like, subscribe, and share to our page. We've been growing at an exponential rate that the powers that be have been trying to slow us down, but we're going to keep on going. CJ the Kid, $10.
Like
Shout
Drake.
out to Dre for birthing proteges who have buried whole careers. Q buried NWA, Eminem buried multiple people. I'd like to know what people. 50 buried John, Dot buried Drake. Basically, don't mess with Team Dre. That's a generalized way of putting all of that, CJ. We can get into the nuances and details of that some other time. Andre Williams, 199. Imagine if Jay sued Nas for Ether SMH. Yeah. Our man, my bad.
Sean said that before the show. We was talking behind the scenes. Yeah.
Vince Smith, $2. Aubrey need to just go make pop music. Tracy G with the $10 super chat. Thanks, Sean. Speaking facts. We got to think big picture. Kenny is the example and the proof in the pudding, which is why he didn't do it in 2015. Think about Black Sheep and they lawsuit.
Facts.
And Vince Smith, $5. I can't believe people like Jay Prince, Birdman, and Wayne is going to let Drake take it this far. Huh? That's an interesting perspective, Vince.
Jay Prince been mad quiet.
They sit
My mere thoughts, $4.99. The level of weakness shown by Drake is unprecedented in hip hop. Did he surpass J. Cole with this move? When you mean surpass J. Cole, do you mean like in terms of like worst move ever scale? Like we're talking about a scale that's sliding down, not up, right? Are we talking about like on an avalanche? Where is he falling on the avalanche? Is it an avalanche of J. Cole proportions? I would say yes. But before we do that, let's get to our last super chat, which is beef timestamps in history.
Good question.
KRS-One versus Shan, Pac versus Big, Nas versus Jay, K. Dot versus Drake. A lot of great stuff in between, but those are the most notarized ones. You can never forget about LL and Kool Moe Dee. That's actually where it should start, not KRS and Shan, in my opinion. I feel like KRS and Shan is after LL and Moe Dee. But yeah, let's go back to my mere thoughts again. My mere thoughts been coming with the heat today too, the low key heat. Thank you, my mere thoughts. This level of weakness shown by Drake is unprecedented hip hop. Did he surpass? And by surpass, I think she makes downward spiral J. Cole with this move. What say you?
I'm gonna compare it like this. J. Cole was like throwing a punch. We done said this before, like throwing a punch, and then the guy you fight don't even get to throw a punch back, and you just hurry up and apologize and be like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. You know what I'm saying? Don't hit me back, kind of deal. With this Drake and Kendrick thing, it's like when two kids get to scrapping, and then one kid takes the L, and then the other kid, run over to the kid's house that just beat his ass and knock on the door and tell his parents, like, yo, he hit me, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. So whichever one you consider is the worst, but that's how I look at this scenario. Yo, they was outside helping him cheat and he beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of deal. So
that's when we got the hot water and the bleach and put them in the super soakers and went outside and sprayed all those kids up and make sure we shot them in the eye and ruined all their.
Yo, that's different. Yo, you was on your bed kicking the door. Why try to throw bleach in your eye?
Watch,
now you're brailing it.
You're brailing it. Yeah.
One of the best songs of all time, right there.
Before Kicking the Door got made. This is it's called East Atlanta, 1991.
That's great.
Doing a drive-by on a bike with a super soaker is nasty. With bleach in it.
Nah, he on the back of somebody riding a bike.
Damn, no bike, nigga.
Yo, he holding them like this.
No, you know, Cooper sitting on the handlebars.
These is regular.
Nah, he holding them on the waist.
These is breezeway pull-ups, nigga. Like these is no bikes, no skateboards.
And they were playing the Debo theme when he was at the.
Yeah.
No, nigga, you had to run after you did some shit like that. You spray like 3 or 4 niggas at once, they come and fuck you up. You had to go run.
Let me ask you before we close this one. Let me ask y'all this: do y'all think J. Cole should feel the way that all of this is happening in the middle of him trying to get his stuff off as well? He's trying to get this, the gigs thing that he got going on. Talking about the music that he was curating back in the day and trying to ramp some things up. Do you think this is a big distraction that just throwing everything off right now?
I don't think he cares. I don't think he wants no part of the foolery. It's part of the reason why he backed out. And I've been tapping into it. They 4 episodes deep. Yeah. And it's still pretty good. If y'all have listened to it, he gives a lot of insight on the episodes. And this most recent episode, speaking of Kendrick, he played 2 unreleased tracks that he has with Kendrick that was supposed to be from their collab album in around the 2010 era. And, it sounded good. Like, it begs the question. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but B-Dot put out a list that was like pretty bad of the best collab albums of all time. And I will say, and it was a bad list, but I will say the combination of J. Cole and Kendrick, even in the early days, if that would have came to fruition, it had the potential to be at the top of that list. But to answer your question, I don't think J. Cole really cares if it's stepping on his rollout. I think he just wants to stay positive, moving forward towards his release and not be involved in any of this mess. And I think that's why he pulled Port Antonio off streaming, for that reason alone. I mean, he keeps like stepping forward, stepping back, stepping forward, stepping back. And I think he's just kind of done with the whole thing and just kind of focusing on how he's going to roll out his album and release it.
No doubt. Damn, Coop fell asleep.
I'm up, nigga. What are you talking about?
Oh, my bad. Damn. My bad, Coop. I apologize, man.
He like when Big was on the phone with Diddy when he was gonna miss the flight. I'm up, Diddy. I'm up, nigga.
I'm up. Yeah.
LAX.
Yeah. Let's get some super chat, nigga.
Get the super chat, man. Damn.
He coming down off that high.
No, he's not. I think that's in the second wave right now. He's in the second wave of that high.
No, let's finish this up and slide off to our Discord dialogue. Do we have any final thoughts?
No, man. I just want to hear some good music, man. Like, get back to the music. Kendrick just dropped a solid effort. We'll see if Cole drop anything before the year is out. Let's just get back to the music, man. I think that's the most important thing here. Let's get beyond this goofy shit that we're seeing right now. It's not out of control. And we're going to probably hear about it over the next couple of weeks. But let's just.
Does this stain the battle to you? Like, because for me, it does.
AG, I think we talked about this in the very beginning. In the first quarter of the battle, we felt like it stained the battle then when you had everybody else jumping in the ring. You know what I'm saying? When you had everybody jumping in the ring, like Rick Ross and these other entities doing their part, I felt that the battle was already compromised by that time.
Love talking about
it. Took the focus off what we needed to be talking about, who was actually rapping against each other. And then when Drake just all of a sudden just bowed out after telling Kendrick, I got all of this for you, and then he goes missing, and started doing memes and goofy shit, the battle to me started getting corny after that, man.
Can I make one more point? One more point, and this is to what you're saying, what we was talking about when the battle first jumped off. You remember that morning that Taylor Made Freestyle dropped? You called me, and I was like, this is a terrible move with using AI and all that stuff, because I was anti-AI and rap and all that. It's ironic, coming this far later, you're suing for the usage of bots when you yourself, with the Taylor Made Freestyle, was using the technology to imitate a deceased rapper, which had everybody up in arms, use the AI. So it's a full circle moment, and it's real ironic. But I'm just keeping consistent with myself and standing on my square, because Sean knows how I felt about that.
Hey fellas, let's get to the super chats and let's slide to the next topic so we can get out of here soon. It's holiday week, We got web visibility once again with the $5 super chat. How can Drake even make any more music after this? Imagine a rapper talking ish and threatening to sue other rappers in a rhyme. This is crazy. Well, I mean, we have rappers having their lyrics used against them in court as well. So there is no church in the wild on all sorts of fronts. That is going to have to be another topic for another day. AG, would you like to take it away with this week's Discord dialogue?
I'm gonna set up Sean for this one, because I know this is a one of his favorites, but I'm gonna tell who it is and what the Discord dialogue is. Discord dialogues, we have a Discord group. If you're not a part of it, the link will be in the chat, and we ask that you please join it. We have a lot of fun in there, constant conversation, and clowning throughout the day. We have listening sessions. We have gaming channels, off-topic stuff where we talk about shows, what have you. But one of the things we like to do is we like to make our Discord group part of the show, because they're friends of the show. So every week we put in the Discord a poll to vote. Well, first of all, we take nominees, and then we take those nominees and then do a poll to vote which person we're going to talk about on the next week's show. And this week, one of the nominees that won it just happens to be Ghostface Killer. So, we like to highlight somebody who might not be in the current news cycle and give them their flowers, right? So Ghostface won this week, and we want to wax poetic about Ghost. I know Ghost is Sean's second favorite rapper, 1B, I guess you could say, for Sean. So I'm gonna let him take it away and wax poetic about Ghost.
No doubt. Appreciate that, bro. Definitely shout out to the Discord, man. The Discord be having shows all day, all night, everything. So appreciate y'all even voting for Ghostini.
Discord's a dangerous place.
Dangerous. it's so ill though, because we get real conversations in there, real people in there.
Yeah, it's pure. Shout out to everybody in the Discord.
Everybody in the Discord for sure. Man, where do I start with Ghost? Like I said, Nas 1A to me, Ghost is 1B. I've always said that. When Wu was going through their thing at that point, when we started losing our trust in Wu, Ghost was holding that flag for a long time. He was holding that flag from Supreme Clientele, Purdy Tony album, Bulletproof Wallets. He was the one. His pen increased. He was one of the only members of the Wu, if not the only member of the Wu, that increased in popularity and also pen and also quality over time, because he wasn't the popular one out the group. In the very beginning. In the very beginning, he had that mask on. I've always said if I was going to be a rapper, I want to come out with the mask on and nobody know my face to see me at all. I thought that was one of the best things to do as an MC, to come out scaring people with that stocking mask on. One of the best storytellers, one of the ones that give you all the emotion in the stories and actually take you through the story and give you a vivid picture of the story. Not many can do that, and Ghost can do that. For him to actually do that and also still be part of one of the best, to me, but been the best hip hop groups of all time, and also be able to shine in the high moments, the low moments, and the in between moments, to me, that tell you how good of an MC, how great of an MC he is. Ghost also, to me, was the soulful piece of the group. When you think about the soul of Wu, Ghost was the one that had the soul in Wu. Even if you think about the Iron Man Chamber, that was a soulful album. You're talking about a lot of samples from Al Green. You're talking about that good vibration that RZA was able to tap into, force an old soul like Ghost, like Dennis Coles. And one thing that I met Ghost. It was in San Diego, man, like in 2003, in the back of an alley, which is crazy. They were leaving the show in the back of an alley, man. And real chill dude. And he was like, "Peace, Lord." And that was all I needed to see. And I was like, "Peace, Lord." You know what I mean? But for real, we talk about Raekwon in the Cuban Link. You don't get the Cuban Link album without Ghost side of it. With Ghost side of the story. And
Right.
having Ghost side of the story on Cuban Link, to me, actually brings that full circle as an MC, because I think that's when he started realizing how strong he was as an individual, because he was able to rap alongside of Raekwon. Raekwon was even at his zenith at that time. He brought the emotion into Cuban Link, and that's why Cuban Link was so successful, because without Ghost emotion and Ghost his fire, Cuban Link is just really a dope lyrical based album. But Ghost brought a little bit of that inflection that you need to balance out an album like Cuban Link, because the beats and everything we always talked about was on point. But Ghost was the one who actually brought more gloss to it, right? He brought the shine to it, because he was able to illustrate different things. Sometimes what he was talking about in his lyrics. Sometimes what he was saying, but it resonated. It still stick to landing. And for me, Ghost 1B, Nas 1A, Ghost 1B, Ghost Dini.
Word. What you got, Coop?
I listened to Supreme Clientele today, and I realized that it is one of the more special moments in hip hop, and it really just doesn't get enough credit. I don't know where the album ranks high all time on my list, but the moment may be greater than the album. I mean, he single-handedly, I feel like, with the beginning of that album, took a franchise that was getting disenfranchised and put it on its back for an unexpected championship run. Supreme Clientele, to me, is the most unexpected championship run of all the hip hop albums, of all the great hip hop albums. It's like, well, no, we knew Moment of Truth was coming, because there was word that like Preem and Guru were getting back together and working on something. We knew B was coming. There was word that Kanye and Common had gotten together, and we had got the food from the Dave Chappelle show, so we knew that they were like working together. When you hear the beginning, the Supreme Clientele, like the intro, and then you hear Nutmeg, like when one drops, and he goes, "We back, here to sharpen your sword." TMF, Wu-Tang Clan, and then you hear him go, "Scream on him, Ghost." And then he comes in, the way that beat drops, it's that classic moment. We at the weed gate waiting for Jake. We want 8 ravioli bags. 2 thirsty villains with a bellyache. Heavyweight crime writers pull out the stash from this white bitch, talking about, "Damn, Ghost, you the only nigga I know." Like when the cops come, you never hide your toes. Like the first time you hear that, you're like, "What the fuck is this?" I love it. And
nobody's talking like Ghost.
nobody for an album of just like whatever the talk is, you're so addicted to his world on that album. It's some of the best like come in lines, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's consistently brilliant like throughout that album. Like people forget, it's like what's the shit on Wu Banger 101? Oh man, he slid on that shit right after Jizza, and people didn't even like check it. You know what I'm saying? He's just a special MC, special album. It's got a top 10 catalog, maybe top 5. Iron Man and Supreme are his definite classics. I personally think Fish Scale would be my third, and then Bulletproof fourth, and then Pretty Tony fifth. But that's a hell of a top 5. That's a top 5 that nobody has except for like a Jay and Nas or a Scarface, quite frankly. And so I have him in my top 10. I have his catalog in my top 10. I have Supreme Clientele in my top 20. Wu-Tang is special, man. 4 of my favorite 20 rap albums are Wu-Tang albums.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Enter, the Purple Tape, Liquid Swords, and Supreme. And then I could sprinkle Iron Man in somewhere, but he's turned out to be the best member from the best crew of all time. So shout out to the crazy crew in the Discord chat for showing some love. And
I'm
now,
gonna get some thoughts off on Ghost real quick, Coop. I'm gonna be brief. I would say to your point, top 5 discography of all time. I don't think that's even, hyperbole. I think, Ghost has a case for that. Far as being in my top 10 list, if there was any Wu member that would make my top 10 list, it would be Ghostface. But I'm funny about that kind of thing. I think Wu is the greatest group of all time, hands down. And I'm one that's, the whole is greater than the sum of all their parts for me. So I like to give the solo artist the chance to make it in my top 10 list instead of putting any of the Wu artists in my personal top 10, because that's like picking between your children. So that's just a funny criteria that I have. But as far as Ghost is concerned, man, online where they be cooking LeBron for capping all the time, like when you say like, yo, I woke up, I knew Kobe was going to score at least 70 points. And then he scored 81. That's what I'm about to sound like, because unlike you, Coop, I wasn't surprised at Supreme Clientele, and it's for a weird reason. I remember before the album dropped, him and RZA had the cover of The Source, and it's a simple cover with just them standing there. But I remember that's one of my favorite covers of all time for The Source magazine. And I remember thinking like, yo, I got a feeling that Ghost is going to drop a classic. Like, for real, just looking at that cover and seeing what time they was on, even though RZA didn't produce the album, he executive produced it. Just seeing them on the cover together, marketing for the Ghost Dog soundtrack and Ghost's album, I was like, okay, they going back in the chamber, because prior to that, a lot of the team had moved away from RZA. So just to see Ghost standing shoulder to shoulder with RZA on that cover,
love that cover too.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, yo,
I love that
this is going to be a classic.
Yep.
AG, I would submit to you that my worry about that time more lied in with RZA and the directions he was getting pulled into than with Ghost at that time.
Oh,
Ghost,
absolutely. RZA was expanding, his musical palette and stepping out, doing.
And also too, let's understand, even though this album is on some Wu-Tang shit, this album is not as good if RZA actually does all the beats on this project. Like Juju from the Beat Nuts did.
Not at that time period, no.
Yeah. Stroke of Death. Oh man.
Yeah, that beat was created on accident. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, but it's one of those moments. That's what I mean. I can remember where I was when right before Ghost comes in and that chick goes, "You are now listening to the style."
Step into the party,
like,
it's me.
And I'm just going, and I'm just saying to myself, this album is a fucking classic. Step into the party, it's me, God Almighty. Ghost still I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is everything I want a rap album to be.
Yeah. But executive producing the album is underrated though, and I think his touch on the album was definitely felt. Pause, but yeah, I that's no cap at all. Like, I remember being in my dorm room at the time in college, my freshman year, and saying like, to my homie, that was my roommate, I was like, yo, Ghost about to drop a classic for real. Like, and that's what it was. Now, granted, I didn't think it would be better than Iron Man, but lo and behold, it was. So, shout out to Ghostface, shout out to Discord, one of the greatest of all time, the best member of the greatest group of all time, in my opinion, Ghostface Killer. We can move on.
No, did out. Shout out to the Discord, man. Shout out to the Discord. I just dropped the Discord links in the chat, so y'all tap in, please.
And one more thing before we slide. If the original versions get cleared from Bulletproof Wallets, I think he has 3.
Oh my goodness!
Three.
Don't get me started.
Now we have 3. Now we have 3 undeniable classics: the Enter the Wu-Tang work and the Purple Tape work. Now it's starting to look like, okay, we have a top 5 MC of all time. Like, that's the difference. That's the difference sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. It's like, no, if that shit gets cleared for Bulletproof, it's like he's got 3 like undeniable classics. I think it's 2 undeniable classics with 2 strong possibles, but it's 3. It's 3 if those clearances go through. And I still think Fish Scale's a classic. I know it's just personal for me with Fish Scale.
This kid is crazy.
I think it's definitely impossible. I can't say it's a classic, but it's right there for sure.
More
Back
fish,
East
even more
Solid,
fish.
C King, since Cuban Pretty Tone, Iron Man, Bulletproof and Supreme. Yo, he's crazy on fifth scale.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Love that album, man.
Okay, we're about to get out of here. Press play segment once again. Sean, I forgot all the songs that I send you every week.
I got you. Of
You're gonna
course.
have to give me up.
Of course. I got you. Your first one. Hold up. Let me get it queued up. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I know what my first one is.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it up for you. Your first one, Squabble Up.
Saw the new video, Squabble Up. Squabble Up. So real quick, fellas. First of all, it's one of my favorite songs from the album. I figured I would show a little bit of love since everybody thinks that I'm such a Kendrick hater. What are our thoughts about the Squabble Up video, guys?
A lot of references. Yeah, you got Menace to Society reference, the classic album Ice-T Power with the classic cover reference. As a young lad, that cover was like, whoa, when I was a kid.
So staying consistent with the Cali theme, what about people that feel like he's biting the root style in terms of the cinematography of the videography?
Biting or paying homage?
That's all I was about to say, paying homage.
Which one do you think is it?
I'm more homage.
I think it's more homage because it's too blatant. It's too blatant. It's like right in front of your face. I don't think that's biting. I think it's more paying homage because he referenced other things.
Mm-hmm.
The video overall appears to be a homage, and so I think he's consistent with his themes. He usually thinks on multiple levels, so I think the roots thing is a homage to, not a bite. Yeah. I think people that are saying that are looking for a reason to hate, quite frankly, because it's a dope ass song, dope ass video.
I love that song. People may hate on that song on Twitter. I mean, Twitter not a real place, but people may hate on that song. I love that song.
What, Squabble Up?
Yeah, I love that song.
No, Squabble Up got boogie to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Your next one, Soul Food by Goody Mob.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving time. That's it. That's all I got. It gets me in the mood every time I hear Soul Food.
Yes, sir.
I'm on 1365 Wichita Drive, old bird working the stove, right? Church is dropping chicken in yesterday's grease. Didn't go together with this quarter Mickey's last night hanging over from a good time. Yeah, beef feels cheaper, but it's pumped with red dye between two pieces of bread. Shorty look good with them hairy legs. Wish I could cut her up, but my stomach come before 6.
Who you think got the best verse on there, Coop?
Oh God, it's so tough. I feel
CeeLo
like
got the most style though, man.
Like CeeLo has the most style, but there's something about Cujo on there. But CeeLo style wise, a heap of help in the fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, big for my jeans. Most scenes from under the lid that's on the pot. Ain't never had a lot, but thankful for the little that I got. Why not be? Fast food got me feeling sick. Them crackers think they slick.
I got CeeLo, man.
Shit affordable. Thank the Lord that my verse was recordable. That album is so brilliant. That's still a top 5.
No doubt.
Rap album to come out of the South, in my opinion. Okay, on to the next one, Sean.
Next one. Born East 1999 was your third
one. Good pick.
I've been on the East 1999 kick, not just the song, but the album. That's my personal favorite song on the album. But that's one of those classics from our era that kind of got overlooked because I think because of the year that it came out, because it was the year that the East Coast really kind of took the reins back. And I think them being from the Midwest actually hurt them. And we don't talk about like how great Bone was in 1995, 96. Like First of the Month, Crossroads. The original Crossroads was a dope record. East 1999 was a dope single. The Weed Anthems, Buddha Lovers, and Bud Smokers Only. They even had something for the cult people with Mr. Ouija, Mr. Bill Collector. It was a banger, man. It was a wonderful time. East 1999. Yeah.
Good pick, Coop.
The next one was Wyclef.
So, this week, I know we're running on a Tuesday. I was actually off yesterday. Look out for this to be dropping on Thanksgiving. Andrew and I got back in the studio yesterday and recorded an episode of Mirror Music. And the song that I covered from my side was Wyclef's Gone to November. So I don't want to give too much away, but make sure you tune into the episode of Mirror Music dropping Thanksgiving at noon, and we're going to be discussing Wyclef Gone to November and a song that you will see when we start doing our promotion for it. So shout out to Wyclef and Gone to November.
And shout out to Andrew.
If not, yeah, shout out to Andrew. If not for Life After Death, The Carnival might be the best rap album in 1997.
No,
I can't go that far now. It's a great album, but I can't go that far.
yeah,
What's better?
Wu-Tang Forever.
yeah. Just to name a few.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Carnival's more concise than Wu-Tang Forever, but okay.
No,
Oh, yeah, it's a single album versus a double album. Goes without saying.
Well, it's just more quality records. You know what I'm saying? D'Angelo's Devil's Pie is next. I've been on like a D'Angelo kick lately. I've been going back through his stuff. I think it's because it's such a brevity of material from somebody that was so brilliant. But you want to know what this is? This is one of Preem's best beats.
Yeah.
This beat by Preem is masterful. And it's just really one of those subtle classics. I think it belongs on both of their top 20 all-time greatest hits lists for both artists.
Yo, remind me to tell you something when we get off air, Coop, where you said that. So, yeah.
Okay. Cool, yeah. But Devil's Pie by D'Angelo. And it always makes me think of Belly, which is always a good nostalgic hip-hop thing. Yeah.
Voodoo or Brown Sugar? Which one, real quick?
Brown Sugar, easy. It's not even a question.
Easy.
Yeah.
AJ, do you like Brown Sugar?
I go back and forth as far as which one I like better. Oh, you trying to play like? Oh,
I think that was Sean. Funny, Sean. I'd like to say on behalf of the other people who aren't your friends, you ain't shit. Right? On behalf of the people, you all have to know Sean to know how horrendous and horrific Sean is.
My bad. I'm working, man.
I experience that daily.
Guys,
I'm working on myself, man. I'm working on myself.
I don't know what it is. Ever since Liquid Swords, and then we've been talking about Tikal and Method Man. It seems always drops in the fourth quarter. I've been on big Wu-Tang kick lately for the first time in a long time, guys. Our conversation the other week about Tikal actually led me to listen to Tikal and Return to the 36 Chambers. And Shimmy Shimmy Ya is just, it's just, they just don't. There's just nothing like Shimmy Shimmy Ya. I really don't even have the words for it. It's one of those records that I hope that somebody who is not familiar with Wu-Tang Clan or Old Dirty Bastard hears me talking on some sort of chopped up version of this on some sort of short that Andrew does and goes and listens to the song and their head explodes because they realize that this is fucking rap genius at its finest. And it's it's not always about bar work. Sometimes it's style, voice, cadence, charisma, and sometimes just being a goddamn fool on the mic,
That was my point earlier. That's the guy that's missing on Conditioner. It's not the same person, man. The person on Conditioner is a broken person, man.
Facts.
It's sad.
The meds, the drugs, the time, the wear and tear. Yeah.
It was sad, man. It was sad.
Very sad.
All right, go ahead and cue it up.
AG.
It's my turn. Okay, yo, I want good list, Coop, by the way. I wanted to keep it to the Thanksgiving theme, but I wanted to cover the dichotomy of Thanksgiving, the good and the bad, So I'm going to start off, Coop alluded to this earlier in the show. I'm going to start off with What Goes Around by Nas, aka Poison, off Stillmatic, which happens to be my favorite record. I think this is hands down the best record from Stillmatic. And, like Nas said, the Indians saved the Pilgrims, and in return, the Pilgrims killed them. Y'all call it Thanksgiving. I call it Holiday Hell Day because I'm for poverty neglected by the wealthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the most classic, other than the Iverson jersey line. That's the most classic bar from the record. Also, building on the negative aspect of Thanksgiving, I got another Nas record, America, from the Untitled album, where in the last verse, Nas talks about, the indigenous people getting killed and then a new nation being built from that. So, I like that record. It's one of my favorites off the Untitled album. You know what I'm saying? Coop said he sleep.
Song's terrible. Song is terrible.
Love America, though.
I think What Goes Around is probably my favorite song on Stillmatic, but I don't know if it's the best song, but it is the best mic performance.
Yeah, easily.
It's actually one of the best mic performances of his career, actually.
It's a top 5 Nas song for me, period, all time. I have it in my top 5.
It's a top 10 mic performance all time for me by him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, to end the album that way is crazy. And then now getting into some of the positive aspects of Thanksgiving, I got the classic prayer skit from DMX is dark and the hell is hot. You know, if you grow up in a black household, you know what I'm saying, it comes time to bless the food. If it's your, you know, opportunity to bless the food, you better kill it. You better kill the prayer. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this is a prayer by DMX. Like, you know, I don't care who you are, it could bring you to tears. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely did that. And, you know, it was a classic. So, you know, if you got to bless the food.
Have y'all ever put on a spot to do the grace at
Yes.
Thanksgiving?
Yes, many times. Many times. That's what I was about to tell the people. Like, yo, if, you know what I'm saying? If you have to do that, use this as a template or even steal bars from it. Because Sean be stealing bars all the time. Like, he be doing that. Like, he be taking stuff and using them in like his meeting.
Sounds like what he does.
But anyway, moving on. Moving on. We can do this all day, Sean. So anyway, going forward. So the next joint I got is Kanye's Family Business. So this is, you know, one of the best family type records. Kanye, like, you know, struck a chord with, you know, what that feeling is like when you have your family around, you all, you know, sharing a meal and having conversation and stuff. It's one of the best records on the College Dropout. We actually talked about College Dropout earlier. Love this record. So you got that. And then Coop.
Either.
What'd you say, Coop?
I don't like that record either. It's one of my least favorite records on that album.
Really? I love that joint, man.
Yo, hold on. Andre Miller. God is good. God, yo, Andre Miller, this is my go-to. When I'm in doubt, this is what I go to.
You should graduate, though, Andre. You should graduate from that prayer when you like 10.
Yo, AG, they put me on the spot. That's what I go to. God,
word.
Yeah.
But next, Coop already waxed poetic about this song. This was low hanging fruit. It was easy picking, soul food off a classic album. The record is classic. Everything about this is classic. Like Coop said, this gets you in the mood, you know what I'm saying, for this, you know, time eating some good soul food. But next up, I have the forgotten soul food, the one that's not talked about that much. I have the one by Fab and Jadakiss off the Friday on M Street album. The way they traded bars on this one and the concept, you know, building around, you know what I'm saying, coming to the table for soul food. Yo, if you haven't tapped into this one, definitely check this one out. Nobody talks about this one, but it's definitely a heater. And you know, after we get full and get the itis, you know what I'm saying, from eating, what my family likes to do, me, my cousins, my uncles, we like to sit on the couch and watch football for the rest of the day. So I pull the camera on, let me know. It's a Monday Night Football theme beat, you know what I'm saying? And granted, Thanksgiving's on a Thursday, but I thought it was appropriate to be appropriate to use the NFL, you know what I'm saying, for this track. And, you know, this joint goes hard. So, you know, football tie-in, you know what I'm saying? I plan on watching plenty of football Thanksgiving Day. So that's my Thanksgiving list.
Yo, good concept, man. Good concept. Cool. Did you have a concept for yours? Did you have like anything that inspired you for your list, or you just went for whatever on the heart?
No. I really just went with the songs that like when I don't have a concept, I just literally go into my playlist and look at the songs that I've been playing most over the course of the past week. So that's where this one came from, more that place. Jada and Fab on Soul Food, AG. I thought Fab's verse on Soul Food was a verse of the year contender that year. Yeah. That's one of Fab's better verses in recent memory, in my opinion. We got a couple of super chats. Can we run through them before we get on? Okay, my mere thoughts. Once again, $4.99. I love Cole's music. I just asked that he doesn't gaslight his fans on this upcoming project and stop blaming us for ducking K. Dot, i.e. Port Antonio. Oh, he's never going to live it down.
No.
He can't. Yeah.
Vince Smith. Ghost had my second favorite verse on Triumph. Meth had mine. Second favorite verse on Triumph. Meth.
Yeah, Meth went crazy on that one.
I low-key like RZA's verse, man.
On Triumph.
I'm not gonna hold you, man.
The wooden soldiers.
I think RZA went off on that verse, yo. I ain't gonna jump out the window and say it's my second, but that was the first verse that popped into my head. I was gonna say Capadonna just a troll coup, but I ain't even got the time for that.
And guess what? I do have time to troll you right back because I was about to say, well, everything on there is better than Capadonna's verse. On to the next super chat. CJ the Kid with the $5 super chat. General consensus is that Iron Man, Supreme Clientele, and Fish Scale are all classics in top 3. That being said, you guys never talk about Fish Scale. Why?
That was probably before you started talking about Fish Scale Coop. So
Right.
And also,
and Sean did too.
Fish Scale isn't the same level of classic that Iron Man.
It's not.
Supreme are.
I think more
classic. It's more classic for its era and classic for the time than it is an all-time great classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Sean, it's on you to rock before we get up out of here, brother.
All right, fellas. So my inspiration was more so
turkey.
Mine was more so around storytelling. I wanted to pick songs that I felt like told the story from the beginning all the way to the end, not just one verse. So I want to start with Jizza Gold. I don't think we talk about Jizza storytelling on Gold enough.
No, we don't.
And he went crazy on Gold. And it's one of those underrated songs on a phenomenal album, in my opinion. The beat was dope. And it just, again, it's just
I love the hook.
I love the hook too.
Can't
Absolutely.
Fold any gold. I re-up and reload. Product must be sold to you.
Absolutely. And of course, you can't go wrong with Rewind. Probably one of the best storytelling songs of all time. Regardless of how you put it in there, like pause, it is one of the best of all time. Right?
Whoa!
I said
we were having a clean show.
Yeah, and I want to shout out to my West Coast people too, man. I want to show love to the West Coast because although we laughed at Cube in the Discord, shout out to Trife and Eppins for laughing the hardest.
The bus.
Cube, man. Today was a good day. It was one of the best
joints.
What's that?
Do you see how quick Sean will bury a nigga though? Did you see how quick it happened? He did it quick, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, and this is the niggas that was clowning in the chat.
Threw him under the bus.
Eppins and Trife. Absolutely.
Those 2 bumps you heard, that was the 2 niggas Sean just threw under the bus.
Trife was the DJ. Trife was the DJ. Yeah.
Oh man.
My next one was Big Warning. Video for it was dope. The whole story, him rapping back and forth to himself was dope. Something that wasn't been done before. Dope story here with Big. Can't go wrong with that. And leaning into Ghost, Maxine from the Bulletproof Wallace album. Maxine was crazy. He had the dog in the background barking. It was crazy. But I love that song from Ghost on Maxine. My next one was Nas' Setup. You know, we don't wax poetic about this enough. Y'all know what it is. The Setup is still one of my favorite Nas songs of all time. I love the beat, love the story, love everything about this. And my last one, of course, Niggas Bleed. But I've always felt there was connective tissue between the Setup and Niggas Bleed, between Big and Nas. Always some connective tissue there.
Hold on. So I am going to push back about one thing. Storytelling list, no Slick Rick, sir?
I felt it was too obvious, man, to be quite honest. I really felt it was too obvious because you know Slick Rick is, to me, he's the one. Yeah. I wanted to kind of dig in the crate a little bit. I wanted to talk about Gold and the Maxines, and you know, you can't have a list without Rewind because nothing has been done like that before.
Yo, so the Maxine and the Gold selections, those were 2 great selections. Man.
I like those because you could have went Killer Hills 10304. That would have been the easy way out for the storytelling on Liquid Swords as far as a solo shot for the Jizza. So that was a good look. I felt like Gold was a real nice look because you're right. When people talk, like to me, Gold is one of those songs that put Liquid Swords over the top because it's one of the songs on the back end in terms of how you would rate it. But when you go listen to the record, you're like, man, this record's fucking phenomenal. It's like, man, that was fucking great.
Yeah.
Yo, not really a story per se, but a concept record. Sean, you would have been really clever if you would have pulled labels, given our current talk for today.
You know what? I thought about that. You know, I had that on there. I had labels on there, and I had I had the other joint that he had too from his third album. Because Jizza did one of those every single album he had.
Yeah, from Beneath the Surface. Yeah,
he did Publicity.
Publicity. Yep.
Publicity, that's what it was. I was gonna put Publicity on there.
And then Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, yes. He's known for those. But I did toy with labels. You may see labels next week. Because I wanted to get more concepts.
It just would have been appropriate for our talk today, you know what I mean, with the UMG talk and all that. So
absolutely.
Who's the bad boy character, not from Arista, but firing weapons released on Geffen.
Yes,
so
sir.
Duck struck the soul of Motown. My central broadcasting systems is low down. Dirty. Like that back.
Just a mat.
All right.
That's our show, fellas. AG, what you got? Close out, man. What you got for us?
That's it, man. I hope everybody have a blessed and safe holiday weekend. You know what I mean? Eat that good soul food and stay safe out there. Thanks for tapping into our show. Like, subscribe, and share.
Spend time with your families while they are here.
No doubt.
Treasure that time.
Yeah, that's important. That's important.
That's a fact.
And I said on Monday night show, we're going to finish 2024 with love and open up 2025 with love. So I want to hold myself accountable. I apologize for my outbursts. Michael Brown, I apologize for my outbursts. I get very antsy when it comes to hip hop conversations. Hip hop conversation, we show passion when we talk about these things. In a debate, you're supposed to show passion. And I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable or anything like that in my bars or whatever you want to call it. But it's all love. We're going to finish 2024 with love, and we're going to open up 2025 with more love. So we appreciate y'all for chatting with us tonight, pulling up tonight on a random Tuesday night with us. We normally come on Thursdays. We're not going to do a Thursday show. We're not going to interrupt our family time with our families and your families as well. Andrew Miller said, Sean, we men, don't apologize. No, man,
real men know how to humble themselves enough to admit that when they're wrong and apologize. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wasn't wrong. I meant every word I said, but I just want to say
that's why I also said humble, because sometimes it's not a wrong thing, it's a humble thing.
Right.
So humility.
With love, and I throw different things out there that don't represent love. You know what I mean? So we appreciate y'all. Continue to support the channel, like, subscribe, share, join the Discord. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be opening up live tonight. I'm talking crazy. The after party is in facts. Straight up. Everything.
You want to know what? Every time we get an extra 10 members in the Discord, I'm gonna come and make a special guest appearance for like 2 days straight.
Coop act like he the celebrity that do the walkthrough, like at the club.
Right.
No, I don't have to consort with your kind. I don't have to.
Right. We don't even know. Let me be joking with Coop the whole time. AG son leads the charge. You know what I'm saying? It's
the Wild West in there, man. For real, it's good, dope people in there, man.
When I walk in the door.
That's why he froze, because he was about to say some bullshit.
Because he high. And make sure your kids don't do shrooms and stuff like that, y'all. If you got kids, if your kids are on Adderall, don't let them do shrooms.
I want a little Rock 20-year cigar waiting for me too when I walk in. Okay. And a bag of peanut M&Ms, nigga, and Twizzlers.
This is nasty work. But hop into the Discord with us. Come and have a good time.
You'll get the unfiltered versions of us in there.
You would definitely get the unfiltered
damn
version.
shame.
It's better than the Patreon, because we're not charging nobody right now.
Right.
And come and join. We out. Enjoy.
Peace and love.
Unfiltered version on the Discord. Everybody should be afraid and stay away.
Brown sugar, baby. Brown sugar or white sugar, AG? AG, use brown sugar or white sugar for your Kool-Aid.
Wow.
That's a stream, man.
Peace, y'all.